At a very young age, he was involved in a crime that left multiple people dead. And he was sentenced to death this week as a result of his crimes. Now, Kim Kardashian has been pleading with Donald Trump, who, of course, those pleas fell on deaf ears. But the Trump administration did, in fact, carry out the killing. Now, on Thursday evening, Brandon Bernard was executed by a federal government after the Supreme Court denied yet another request for a delay of stay in his execution. Brandon is the first to be executed in the Trump administration in the final days of Trump's office. Now, after the Department of Justice announced plans to speedily execute some people before Trump's departure, Bernard was scheduled to be put to death Thursday night, and it did, in fact, happen. Now, Brandon Bernard, who was 40 years old, was sentenced to death for a crime he committed at the age of 18. Now, as a low-ranked member of a gang, Bernard was tasked with getting rid of evidence in a murder of a pastor and his wife. Now, Bernard was not present at the time of the couple's killing, but he was convicted alongside another defendant. The victims were white, and both Bernard and the other defendant were black. Now, in the trial for Bernard's life, 11 of the 12 jurors were black. Now, let's get into the fact that you're always supposed to be committed by a jury of your peers. And oftentimes the fight that we have in our court system is that most of us are not met with a jury of our peers. We're met with a jury of white people. So he was sentenced to life without parole. And, Trump was not the first president who was asked to get involved in the stay of commute for Brandon Bernard. Actually, President Obama was also asked to commute the execution of Bernard, and the Obama administration also did not support when people were asking for the Department of Justice to commute the sentence of not only Brandon, but several others who may have committed crimes at early ages and had done more than their fair share of time. Now, if you, in fact, also want to join in any action that would call for the abolishment of the death penalty, you can join the National Coalition to Abolish the Death Penalty, and you can go to their website for more information and resources and efforts in fighting back. I mean, it is a really cruel and unjust world where in 2020 of our Lord's 2020, we are still executing people for low-level offenses. Dylan Booth still sits today after killing a church full of people. He still sits today in prison, not worrying about whether or not he's going to be killed for his unjust crimes. So never forget that no matter how many times you are able to do the gay party circuit, or you're able to go outside in your most expensive of wigs and finest of clothes, there are real problems happening out here. So you can either be, of the thought process that I'm just going to live my life because I have one life to live. And, I'm so far removed from the atrocities that happen to everyday people that I'll never have to worry about it. Or we can get in there and let it be known that we don't stand for things like, death penalty. Like, come on. Anyways, so Lil Wayne, who, speaking of Kim Kardashian having to go up for the disenfranchised, I hope she never has to go up for this guy who clearly doesn't see himself on the black hand side. But rapper Lil Wayne pled guilty to illegal gun possession and now faces up to, he did face up to 10 years in prison. Well, he allegedly struck a deal, I just don't, okay, so if you recall, this comes amid Lil Wayne basically going out there and seemingly trying to distance himself in any way, shape, or form from being black. The rapper pleaded guilty on Friday to having illegally carried a gold-plated .45 caliber Glock handgun and ammunition as a felon while traveling on his private jet last year. Now, again, this comes amid him saying stuff like, he doesn't really consider himself part of the blacks that have to deal with all of the things that you blackies have to deal with. Now, I guess, if you don't remember the story, Lil Wayne was charged last month with one count of possessing a firearm and ammunition as a felon stemming from an incident on December 23rd of 2019 in which an anonymous tip had led to Miami police officers and federal agents to search a jet that he had been on. Now, authorities said that in addition to the gun, which Lil Wayne said at the time he had received as a Father's Day gift, they found cocaine, ecstasy, marijuana, heroin, painkillers, and prescription strength cough syrup, along with nearly $26,000 in cash. Now, he was not charged with any drug offenses, which is probably why he feels so distanced from being black. Because, bitch, if they catch your ass. Now, A Boogie with a hoodie, who still sees himself as black, was just charged with illegal handgun and marijuana possession in the state of New Jersey, which we talked about this last week. I'm still confused because I thought marijuana possession was legal in the state of Jersey. So I'm not sure how that happened and why he got arrested. But Lil Wayne, after being caught with cocaine, ecstasy, marijuana, heroin, painkillers, prescription strength cough syrup, wasn't charged with any drug offenses. Now, after questioned why convicted felons had been stripped, the rapper said last month, the rapper's lawyer said last month that his client had not been accused of brandishing or using the gun, and questioned why convicted felons had been stripped of their Second Amendment rights. Now, Lil Wayne had recently appeared with President Trump and endorsed him shortly before the election. Now, that apparently, all that compromising did not do anything from having him have to face more than 10 years in federal prison for this gun possession. So he dressed like a character from a Doc McStuffins cartoon and stood next to Donald Trump with a cup of lean only to still have to face these gun charges. I mean, what have we done to compromise ourselves for the bag? Well, Lil Wayne, who recently released a new mixtape called No Ceilings 3, which that went over my head because don't recall seeing that, or I'm not interested. I'm not interested in supporting Lil Wayne. I'm going to be 1000% honest with you. If you're not interested in being black, I'm not interested in supporting your shit. Let all them fucking Russian bitches that you got, that pose on Ivy Park, let them hoes buy your shit. Hey, anyways. So what is all this ado between DaBaby and did y'all know that DaBaby had 2 baby mamas? Now, I thought all this time this girl named Mimi was the mother of his first and second child. Turns out that she's only the mother of his first child, and that his second daughter mother is a completely different woman. Whilst he also be messing with singer choreographer Danny Lee. Now, listen, foolish or love? That is the question. Now, I think, on a recent episode of Full Court Pumps, that's not the name of the show, but what's the name of the show, you guys? You know what I'm talking about. Anyways, I always call it the wrong name. I swear I do. But at any rate, what's funny is that I think that a lot of, it's called See the Thing Is. Yes, that's what it's called. See, the thing is, I think that a lot of girls would rather walk around being foolish, but don't want to have you treating them foolish. Like the conversation and the topic was, most people don't mind looking dumb or just don't mind being dumb, but don't make them look dumb. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't make me look stupid. Like, it's okay that you and I have this secret between us that you treat me like an asshole and I'm dumb. But don't go out your way to make me look more stupid. Like, that's rude. But such is the case, in this case, for Danny Lee, DaBaby, Mimi, and his second baby moms. Now, I think a lot of people, we've been talking about, non-conformist, non-monogamy for quite some time. And I think a lot of us, including myself, still grapple with the idea of, you can have a relationship with someone and it could be non-monogamous and it could still be fulfilling. I don't know how to quite deal with that yet or how to do that, but apparently a lot of you do. And I guess the biggest thing is, I don't mind being dumb for you, but don't make me look dumb. And in this case, between those three, I think we all know that, I don't know, is it because this man has a lot of money? Are we okay with him having, I think the problem really for me comes in when a lot of you niggas who don't have dry shit in your ass and probably have no reason whatsoever to be acting like you should be cheating on anyone. You should just be happy that anybody wants to be with your broke bitch ass. But you niggas really listen to these songs and listen to these niggas and think that you can really do the same thing that they do, but you can't. Anyways. All right, so what else is going on out here in the world? You guys, can we please talk about this recent... Did you guys see this recent picture of your guy, Usher? He's dressed with all of this Rick Owens gear on, and he looks insane. But I guess my biggest thing is that, let it not go unsaid that having money does not always mean that you have taste. All right. Is there anything else for us to get into this week? I don't think that there is. Why don't we take a quick break and then we'll come back and we'll set the table for the week. Sound good? All right. And we are back.